are live. Coming to you live from high atop the MIT building, residences and hotel located in the heart of Lahook City, Cebu. This is Dan at Dan and Minnie's Journey. Push the buttons, pull the levers, and do all I can to make this live stream possible. But still struggling on the light. The light and the glare in the window, still struggling with it. Yeah. I'm lazy. I had plenty of time. No, I'm not lazy, Larry, but I had plenty of time to work this out. Still didn't do it. Go figure. Hey. Inomako Cafe, my own buntag to everyone in the Philippines. Hello, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world, good afternoon. All right, let's see if I can fade this music out so we can get started. You see all this stuff here, right? You see I got plugs everywhere. It's a typical Filipino apartment. Doesn't have any plugs anywhere. Hey, by the way, why is it that they put only one plug in the kitchen and one plug in the bathroom? You know, why is it that Filipinos do that? Why do they build a house like that? I just don't understand it. Who's here anyway? Anna Mae Reyes, Mike, married to a beautiful woman. It's you and me. 1, 2, 3, Charles in the house. Let's see, who else is here? Michelle Ann, Larry Lee, Tim is here from Pampanga. All our friends are here. Genzel is here, which means Mel can't be far behind. Who did I miss? Abby, of course, my number one fan. Abby is here. Good morning. Good morning. My own buntag. How are you? All right. So don't forget on May 31st, we have the big spin. Bakyo Mertz is handling all the details on that. She's working it out. She's making a list and checking it twice. There will be a big winner happening in the big spin on May 31st. Someone's going to win it all. The whole kit and caboodle, the whole thing, the whole enchilada, as we used to say in my neighborhood. All right. Michelle is here. All right, let's get started. All right. Before we get set up with the panel, though, I mean, if you'd like to wait, you guys in the green room, anyone who wants to come up, this show's turning into a sausage fest, quite frankly. But anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have anybody here that wants to talk and tell us their story. Bakyo Mertz is in the house. Mertz is handling all the paperwork on the big spin. All right. So that means the basic rule is that you can have one primary. Each time you come to the live stream, we see you here. Beginning to end would be nice. But when we see you here, you're allowed to have one primary and 2 secondary channels, right? But if you came to play, you can't switch between devices, all right? You have to use three names means 3 gadgets, which means that every live stream, you can enter 3 times, 3 chances to win. Do not switch between devices. We'll know it. Moto Ace is here. Moto Ace. Do I know you? I think so. All right. Before we get started, I want to give you a little thought challenge, a little thought experiment. It's a what would you do challenge. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this to you because I was writing down my thoughts hella fast last night while watching a couple of videos on YouTube. All right, I was floating around myself, changing channels really quickly while writing down a few of my thoughts. And I'm going to share them with you so that you can also think about these. The thought goes something like this. These are thoughts, and it's the world according to Dan. Do not try this at home. As a matter of fact, don't even listen to anything that Dan has to say. Yeah, that would be the good thing to do. And also, never try to deploy or put into play anything that Dan has to say for any reason whatsoever. This channel was made specifically for entertainment purposes and to keep Dan as busy as possible in his retirement years. I'm turning into a crusty old man. It's happening second by second. It's happening now. I'm feeling a little bit crusty. Speaking of crusty things, Crystal's. No, that wasn't a good segue. Crystal is in the house. Crystal's Adventures. You know, I really enjoy some of the pictures that Crystal's has been forwarding lately on the Facebook. No, I don't spend a whole bunch of time in Facebook. I just go in there and check things out. I lurk to see what family and friends are doing. Occasionally, something will inspire me, and I might make a comment like, "I'm okay, and you're an idiot." A comment like that. All right. Now let's move on to the thought. All right, so it goes like this. What if one morning you wake up to an email that you've received in your inbox that says that the US dollar has collapsed. As a matter of fact, not only the US dollar, but global currency has collapsed and is no longer viable. But Daisy Lynn is here. Hi, Daisy Lynn. I see you. It collapsed. It's no longer viable. A new system known as central bank digital currency or international digital currency has been rolled out while you were sleeping. At that point, you were at the point where you were deciding to retire. So you figure, oh, well, the digital currency, all it's doing is they're just replacing dollars with digital currency, no big deal. So you decide that, why not just drive down to the SSA office, Social Security Administrative Office, and apply for your retirement. Might as well get it going now. So you drive down there, and the clerk helping you says, "Oh, sorry, sir, but we no longer accepting applications because we are bankrupt." I don't know if you heard, but the news this morning is the US dollar is no longer viable, and it occurred while you were sleeping. Ooh, Rich Adventure is here. And you're kind of perplexed, but still you're not panicking. You're not panicking yet, because you have a few years on you. You know how to handle things. All right. But so no need to worry, the clerk says to you, because the government is going to provide you with all that you need. They're going to provide you with free housing, food, medical, and clothing. You also receive a stipend every month in the form of digital credits that you could spend. Well, you could spend it not necessarily on what you like, but what you qualify for. The money will be deposited into your GCash account on the second Wednesday of every month. And they start, they said, would you like to start the application process? And of course, you say yes and hell yes. Because you're still telling the clerk, I paid into the system. I should be getting my money back. I paid into the system. It hasn't quite sunk in that the dollar has collapsed and is no longer in use. In other words, you paid into the system in dollars, but the dollars have no value. So basically, if you think things through with a little bit of common sense, but I can understand in the heat of the moment, you may not understand that there's no more Social Security. It's gone broke because there's no dollars. Dollars, they don't exist any longer. A new money system has emerged. It's called international digital currency. But it won't start out as international. It'll start off as being a digital dollar. That's what it's easier to sell it to you that way. You ask, but where can I use it? Oh, that's a great question, one in which I'm prepared to answer. You go to Amazon.com and you will find your profile. Amazon will let you know what you can and cannot buy on their app based on your social credit score. And you ask, what is that? Well, that's a score that is assigned to you based on things like your political affiliation. Um, oh my goodness gracious. Your political affiliation, uh, your level of education, your volunteer work in the community, and stuff like that. And then you say, will I be able to travel? Well, that all depends, the clerk says, on whether you can secure a passport, which is also decided upon by a review of your social credit score. And you say, how many credits will I be receiving every month? Well, sir, that's difficult for me to know right now. You have to actually complete the application process and the background check. It is, after all, needs based, and they utilize an algorithm scoring system of which your social credit score will be factored in, but it won't be the primary. It won't be the primary score that they use in order to determine whether you're allowed to travel or not. And so I started thinking the government most likely will partner up with private corporations who are contracted to make the determinations on their behalf. So, of course, politics is politics, and they're going to award contracts to their friends. Government isn't going to be handling the transactions whatsoever. By the way, the clerk says, by the way, there is a note here in your electronic file known this day forward as an e-file, saying that if anyone has any contact with you, we're to advise you that you need to drive down to the government vaccination center immediately. You must do this before I can approve your application for benefits. So you're a good citizen. You're a good citizen of the world. You're a good citizen of the USA. And you go down and do exactly what you're told. You go down, you get your vaccination, and you come back with your receipt from the vaccination center, and they go ahead and they process your application. And surprisingly enough, the credits appear almost immediately. Within seconds of you submitting the application, your credits appear in your GCash account, and you go on your merry way saying, oh, this is great. Still, you haven't figured out what the value of a credit is. You won't be able to do that until you get over to Amazon to see what you can buy with those credits. Of course, the amazing thing about Amazon is that once you make the purchase, once you make the order, within minutes, a drone is flying over the top of your house, delivering your package to your front door. Let's see. Dan, I believe in family, mom, dad, grandparents, and Uncle Todd who waves his willy. Yeah. How old is Uncle Todd, by the way? And I believe you should go to church every Sunday, unless there's a game on. Yes. Well said. 1, 2, 3, Tarl. Well said. Mark is in the house. Crystal's better half, I might add. Good morning, Moelma. How are you? What's on the agenda today? Anna May is here. Anna May is turning into like my number one fan. Yes. Yeah. Hey, which is a good thing, right? Because if you have a number one fan, you most likely have a number two fan, right? Or rather, number two fan. I think I said that backwards. That's not important. Whatever I'm formulating in my head, I just comes out. It's like verbal diarrhea, if you will. Oh, that was very graphic, wasn't it? And it probably wasn't necessary. All right, so what are we talking about today? All right, so we're ready to go. Oh, by the way, I meant to say that if you're going to be in the green room there waiting your turn to come up on the panel, there are cookies in there, and cookies and donuts from Dunkin' Donuts in the green room. Help yourself. There is a deli tray there. There's some lechon baboy. Enjoy the lechon baboy, by the way. I slaughtered the pig myself this morning. The neighbors were a little bit pissed off in the apartment below. Larice is here. Larice, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and socialite, and an all-around mighty fine person. She's here. She works hard, folks. YouTube is Larice's, YouTube and Facebook and the like, social media. That's Larice's, that's basically her job. Now I know they say that if you have fun at what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I think that is Larice. I think that describes Larice perfectly. All right, today, let's see. We were going to talk about what is the subject? Because I have it written down in my phone. It probably was going to be another boring subject that I was going to make you suffer through in order to earn the slots that you need in order to win that 5,000 pesos. That's 5K in May. Yeah, Crystal agrees with me. Yeah, sir, my better half. Well, you know how relationships are. They're not perfect. They're kind of imperfect in a lot of different ways. Tolerate each other. That's the perfect relationship, where you're able to tolerate each other and not want to kill each other, even though that does happen on occasion. The most wasteful spending habits is what we're going to be talking about, but it's not your most wasteful spending habits. It is the most wasteful spending habits among Americans. And where did I get this idea? Where did I get the idea to do a live stream on this? I think it was Larry Lee that gave it to me. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, is that a ninja account, right? Ninja account. Minnie Snow, what do you know? Charmaine, Lori, Charmaine. All right, so let's get on with it. Let's get on with the show. Let's get on with the show, Nicole. Yeah, Pacquiao Mertz and whose giveaway was very exciting last night. Oh, Larice, that's right. I was bouncing on Larice, but a thing is, a lot of my favorite YouTubers were on last night, all at the same time, and I was there bouncing between the channels. Someone told me that my name was called out at least 3 or 4 times, and I never was in the right place at the right time last night in order to say hello, to see who was calling me out or respond in any sort of way. So I do apologize about that. Yeah. I do apologize if apology is necessary. Oh, wait. Someone's coming in the green room. I don't see that they have their donut with them, but hey, what's going on?
No donut today.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I forgot to.
You notice I'm dressed a little better?
All right. See, you see that? I lost a little bit of light. So I had the TV set on for sound when I play the music, and then I'm able to fade it out by using my remote control. I'm so technologically advanced. And then I realized once I disconnect the TV set, of course, I have no more light. The light on the TV set goes out, and the reason why is because I'm using the HDMI for that. I use the HDMI plug. It's complicated, but not really. Let me see. Say something again so I could hear you.
Okay, what do you need?
Perfect. All right, the sound check is good. All right, so you can see I didn't do a very good job about the lighting, solving the lighting problem. I actually moved a few things around, but it didn't help much. The glare is gone, but Dan still looks like he's doing the live stream in the dark.
Well, Dad, aren't you always in the dark?
Well, pretty much. No, I'm an enlightened soul, by the way.
Oh, then I'm the one that's always in the dark.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you have a nice ambiance there set up, a very nice ambiance.
Well,
The light in the background, the lamp in the background being on, it just gives a nice, clean look. Hey, do you remember a guy named? There was a late night talk show host, and Tom Snyder. He was Canadian, wasn't he? Was Tom Snyder?
I'm not sure.
Was Tom Snyder Canadian?
I'm not sure. I know who you're talking about, but I'm trying.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Do you remember that he? Do you remember he used to have a late night show and he used to smoke on camera?
Oh yeah, back then you could.
Yeah, that used to irritate the hell out of me for some reason. He'd be sitting there talking or interviewing his guests, and then he'd be smoking a cigarette in the. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. But I used to have a college professor would smoke in class back when they let you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to count how many. I mean, this guy would smoke half a pack of cigarettes in a 1 hour class. He almost just lit one right off the other. And
hi, Jalen. Nice to see you.
So I found that a little bit disconcerting myself. Not so much that he smoked because I smoked at that time, but that he smoked so much in class.
All right, so I don't mind doing this in the dark. So this study that was done recently, thanks for sharing it out, Jalen. I appreciate it. The most wasteful spending habits was an article by The Ascent, and it turns out to be a study, the most wasteful spending habits among Americans. But I did not read the article. I'm going to do it right here live. Let's see what the date of this is. It's a year. It's more than it was first published March 21st, 2019, and then shared out again August 28th, 2022. And this caught my attention. So everyone wastes money. Some people are more careful with their funds than others. Oh, there's another reason why I'm bringing it up, though. In the spirit of transparency, and that is that. What? You could smoke in the chow hall. Amazing. You could smoke on airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come to think of it, you were trapped on an airplane if you didn't like the smoke, and then somebody started smoking, you were screwed. You just had to breathe it in and keep your mouth shut.
They did later on try to separate smokers in one area, but that's not that great.
Smoke. They forgot to tell the smoke to stay put.
Yeah.
All right. So now another reason why I'm doing it is because this thing is going on. There's a big campaign going on in the Philippines. It's a thing called Home Credit. All right. It's a company called Home Credit or Store Credit. And they're trying to introduce the Filipino people to American style consumerism and financing. This is their indoctrination. And so one of the reasons why I'm talking about, I wanted to share this article with you is because this could be your future, but maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can see some things. I'm not so sure about this, but I want to talk a little bit about it. They call this the land of plenty. Americans are fortunate to live in a nation where most items are plentiful, except for fine dining establishments. Many restaurants serve their customers more food than they can or should consume in one sitting. So that was one of the adjustments that I had to make while coming to the Philippines. Was it in the U.S. they supersize everything, and then you eventually become supersized. In other words, they 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 put as much. They're competing with each other, and there's so many restaurants. One of the things that people look for is the value in the form of the amount of food that they're putting on your plate. And so they use gigantic plates in some restaurants, and then they load you up. They load you up with every kind of thing on there that they think could fill you up. Sometimes they do it as a side. So you'll get like you'll order, let's say, hamburger steak with gravy. So that's something you can get at Jollibee, right? And so they'll bring it to your table, and then they'll have a huge pile of mashed potatoes on the plate. A huge in a monkey dish they'll have no, there's no, I didn't say monkey. Listen, I shouldn't have used that term, monkey dish. That's what we used to call a small, in the restaurant business, we used to call a side serving dish a monkey dish. I don't know why. So yeah, I used to sling hash for a living. So in the monkey dish, they would put a huge portion of corn or the vegetable in season. It could have been peas or something, or could have even been mixed vegetables. And then you get an accompanied side salad, and a lot of places would be like all you can eat on the salad, because the main objective was to fill you up with a whole bunch of food. So they'd start by carving you out, and you get to the meat, the main part of the meal, and then you get a reasonable size piece of meat on there. So anyway, that's how it used to be. And so here in the Philippines, I don't believe it ever was like that. People are very conscious to scale everything based on their costs.
Now, I
Rice
think
is the main
I
focus
don't know
of the meal.
if you guys got Olive Garden over there or not, Dan. But
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here, the Olive Garden was always unlimited bread and was it
Hmm.
soup, so they
Yeah.
fill you up on that.
They put that out there before they bring your order out. They want to get you to fill up.
Yeah, and then
And yeah,
they'd
and then
bring
they'd
more.
have those deals on all you could eat spaghetti or all you can eat pasta, but their main objective was to fill you up on the cheap stuff first, and then
Yeah,
follow up with the main course.
and hopefully you wouldn't eat too much of the spaghetti.
Right, for Diaz here, but I haven't seen that happen here in the Philippines. As a matter of fact, not the
Yeah, Elvie's
opposite.
here too, in case you didn't notice Elvie.
LV is in the house. Okay, so I'm gonna do a video. Okay, I want you to. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Uh, there is kind of a related video coming up within the next day or two. When Man Minnie and I went over to the Little India restaurant, I was inspired by Knit Band. I went over to the Little India restaurant, which is around the corner. I think I talked about wanting to go there. It's an all vegetarian Indian food restaurant
Yeah,
that
you
I
talked
wanted
about
to
it.
try. And it absolutely was. It wasn't delicious. It was spectacularly delicious. And we've been there a couple of times since then. But I want you to, when you look at that video, you're going to see the presentation of the food. And I would like for you guys in the live stream here to take a look, see at that video, and then the way they present the food. And then you can share your comments in the comment section. I'm very, very curious to see what you have to say about that. I don't see this occurring in the Philippines. I don't see it occurring except in the fast food setting where they want to load you up on the same thing, French fries and potatoes and mojos and, and rice, garlic rice, regular rice, yellow rice, you name the rice, they want to load you up on it.
The you've heard of Five Guys, the hamburger
Yeah,
place here. If you
sure
order
have.
fries, if you order fries from them, you say small. Well, they put a bunch in the basket and they measure out the small. Then they just dump the rest of it in there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no sense ordering a large because you're going to get. I mean, they just give the whole basket to you pretty much.
Pretty
Uh,
cool.
yeah,
Hey,
I don't need that
Smash
many
is
fries,
here.
but
Smash, I've since learned, is a ninja account. But hey, I like the name. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I don't know everybody. I don't keep track
you
of
said Smash is a
everybody's.
ninja account. Who's it a ninja account for?
Yeah, it's cool. Um,
Irene and Irish. Hello.
Irene and Irish, I've been watching what she's been putting up lately, on Facebook. I like Irene and Irish. Yeah, I could say that I like seeing what Irene and Irish is up to.
I
All
actually
right.
I had to do something tonight that I don't normally do on a Tuesday night. Had to set
So you
my
got this
alarm.
thing. What'd you do?
I had to set my alarm. I got an appointment at the VA tomorrow. I got to go see the pharmacist.
Don't be late.
It's not till 10:30, I think, 10:45. I set my alarm for 7 something, so I won't be late.
Hey, by the way, Larry, did you know that if you get malaria here, you could buy doxycycline from the pet store?
No, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they have an
That's pretty
antivirus? I mean,
amazing.
a shot to help you prevent you from getting that? Uh,
Oh, I don't know.
I know,
Probably.
I know
Probably
this
there's
much.
a vaccine. There's probably a vaccine, yeah.
If there's a
Bitter
vaccine,
half is here.
if there's a vaccine, I'll probably get the vaccine.
Bitter half.
I see that bitter half. I didn't see bitter half come yet.
Yeah, that must be Crystal's other half.
Either that's her because she's bitter because you called him the bitter half.
or that's a third or something. That's funny. That's hecka funny. Oh my goodness
Hey
gracious. We're
everyone.
having a
Hey,
we're having
Leonard, how
such
you
a good
doing,
time.
sir?
Leonard, I'm sorry. I didn't even know that you come in there. Did you have any donuts in the green room this morning?
Oh, I had the vodka.
You had the vodka. That's for me. That's for the
Oh
talent, my
well.
friend.
Well, that's what you said. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So home credit. That's the reason for going over this. I'm going to talk a little bit about what people do in America in terms of spending money, and I've done this also. So
Hey,
to understand
Crystals, how
wasteful
are you?
spending. Oh, dang! Before
Hey,
we get
Candy,
into that,
Tim.
guys, did you see that
Bring us home.
article? Did you guys see the article on how many millions of people are behind on their utility payments in America?
No, I
No,
didn't
I
see
did
that.
not. No.
Okay. Google it. No prize, but I mean the first person to come up with it. Do 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 do
You might as well
do
start talking
do
because
do
it'll be
do
a minute.
do 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 da 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 da
How many
da
people are
da
behind on their
na na
utilities in
na
the United
na
States?
na 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 na. All right, time is up. What is your answer, Larry Lee?
Well, it's not giving me a direct answer. That's why I'm trying to. They got U.S. and world population clock. How many
Mm.
utility customers are there in the U.S.? There says
How many Americans are behind on their utility payments? That's their electricity, their water bill, their trash. Well, I don't think trash is a utility, is it? We're primarily talking about their gas and electric bill.
Yeah, your trash is usually
they say
included
one out
in.
of 6 households.
What? Did it give you a number figure?
No, it says according to the National Energy. Now this might just be electricity. According to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association, NEADA, roughly 20 million households in the U.S. 1 out of 6 homes are behind on their utility bills. So it does
You
give you a
did
number.
find the answer. That is the answer I was looking for. That's 20 million households
I'm
Yeah.
are
sure
behind.
that's probably a conservative number too.
Yeah. Well, I happen to have a neighbor who said he's behind on his. He thinks he may be kicked out of here. He's behind on his rent and everything else. His car was repossessed. So
Did you
I
say
know
your
it is
neighbor's
struggling.
possessed? I missed that. Did you say your neighbor's possessed?
Only because he was repossessed.
Oh,
We
I
got
see. He was possessed, and then they came and got him again. All right. To understand wasteful spending, we need to. It's home credit, guys. This is the reason why I'm giving this lecture. And EMC, I think you need to take notes. You didn't do so well on the test last week. Yeah, you
Hey,
got the
Alvin,
final
Arden
exam coming
Smash,
up. Yeah, we're in the home stretch. Take notes.
Zenzel.
To understand wasteful spending, we first need to determine what the majority of folks consider to be wasteful. The most commonly agreed on example include paying too much for certain fees, paying a higher interest rate on financed items. That's what you're going to do if you go for that home
Hey,
credit
Larice.
scam. Examples include paying too much for certain fees, paying a higher interest rate on finance items, forgetting to return things that don't fit or can't be used. Have you ever I've done this. Have you ever gone to Walmart, for example? Have you ever gone to Wally Mart or the SNR or
Wally World.
Landers? And then, yeah, and then you pick up something, right? You pick up a new pair of Levi's. You slap them Levi 501s on. They don't fit exactly right. Your wife is complaining that you have a flat ass.
But Dan,
They make
the jeans don't do anything for that.
I'm sorry, Dan, but my wife's never complained about my ass. But then again, I've never
then
had a wife.
you
That's probably why
decide.
you never had one.
Now I don't know if you've been to the S. I don't know if you've been shopping at Robinsons lately, you guys, but or to the 501 Levi store in the mall. But 501s are hella expensive
Oh, yeah, they're
here in the
expensive here in the
Philippines.
States.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Levi's
you're
are
gonna
not cheap.
pay. Yeah, you're gonna pay something like 2,500 pesos or 3,000 pesos for a pair of Levi's jeans. And so,
Can you
can
buy
you
leggings too?
imagine? Can you imagine buying those and setting them aside when they don't fit? And you say in your mind's eye, you say, I'll just take them back tomorrow. But there's no sense of urgency. Why? Because you put it on you put it on your credit card, and so you kind of go, well, yeah, I got 30 days, no interest. I'll just, I'm lazy. I'll just wait till I have to make another trip over to the mall in order to pay that bill. But 30 days goes by, 60 days goes by,
Well,
90
I'll be
days, you happen to run into the 501s again because they made their way underneath your bed. No one knows how they got there, but when you
usually.
finally reach under there and you pull them out, along with those comes the other pair of 501s that you'd bought 3 or 6 months prior that didn't fit either. And now you got
I
two
have
pairs.
taken stuff that I bought and never worn, but I've given it to these places that collect shoes and clothing for
Like Goodwill or
the
something.
yeah, well, Goodwill, Red Cross, whatever, because Red Cross collects for people whose houses have burned and I've done that. I've given that to them instead of taking it back. But usually I take the stuff back if it's too expensive.
Hey, by the way, what's interesting about this article? They actually say that even consuming excess energy fits in this category. But an independent study suggested misunderstanding food labels leads to increased food waste. That's an example they're giving. No
Yeah,
one
that's
wants to
true.
eat tainted or bad food. However, majority of consumers tend to dispose of food near the best if used by date on the package, which has nothing to do with nothing. And so if you come here to the Philippines, here's part of the culture, right? The first thing they do is they look at they'll grab that can of condensed milk, and they'll look at it and they say, what's it? And they'll have a conversation about it in the kitchen. Your mom and daughter, they're having this conversation. Did you check the expiration date on the can? Oh, yeah, it expired yesterday. Throw it out. I mean, I swear I've seen this happen so many times here in the Philippines. And
Yeah,
I will say, wait a minute, hold the phone,
that stuff's
do not
usually good
throw it
for a
out.
week or more after.
Give me that. I'm using it.
Yep.
Right. And then I'll take it. Man,
if
Minnie,
it's only,
she's laughing.
if it's only a
She's
day or
laughing
two.
over here in the background because she knows that
What's
she
that, Larry?
is guilty.
I'm going to say if it's only a day or two after the best if used by sell date, then it's
Are you
probably
guys
not
sure?
bad because they usually give
here it says
themselves
month.
a leeway.
That's why I say you got at least a week.
I'd say close to a week.
It says these recommended dates aren't federally mandated and are merely guidelines placed on the package by the manufacturers. Of course, they're going to cheat.
Well,
They're going to cheat
want you to
because
buy
they
more.
want you to go. They want you to throw it away and go out and buy some more. Right, Leonard?
Yep.
Well, there's another reason they do it, especially here in the States. If they're off on their throwaway date and somebody gets sick, they can get sued. If you used it before that date expired and you got sick because the food was bad, then you sue them. So if they make it,
Hey, you don't
look,
think they're looking at profit first, Larry? Let me ask you a
no,
question.
I think that is.
If I'm the CEO of a food manufacturing company,
that's a byproduct to me.
I am first and foremost looking at profit.
Yep.
You're also going to look at how much can I lose if
Let the errors and omissions insurance companies handle that. That's what I pay them for. I don't have time to think about stuff like that. All I have to have time to think about is get me my marketing guy in here right now and find out why my sales of Budweiser dropped 21% overnight because of their brilliant strategy of their marketing campaign. Your ass is fired. Get the hell out of my office.
Like I said, though, you look at, let's go McDonald's.
I'm all about the profit and returning shareholder value. Shareholder value is my job, not whether I make people sick or not.
Because some idiot spilled their coffee and burned themselves.
Yep.
And sued because they weren't told it was hot or it was too hot.
Well, the fact of the matter
lost over a couple $1 million. They had to.
It was 2 or 4 million. It was a lot.
It was at least 2 million, and that was a long time ago.
Yep.
That wasn't enough punishment for them, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Well, that might not be, but they, like I said, that lady.
But the lady should never got a damn thing.
They opened a cup of coffee between their legs.
Yep.
You look at all the.
Oh, wait a minute! You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that.
They were told not to.
That's why I'm walking around with only one testicle.
Yeah. But I'm just saying.
I didn't sue anything. I didn't sue anybody. My mom said you get what you get for doing stupid things. That's what my mom said to me.
That's why they tell people now that you got to take the food out of the package. You can't put the paper product in the oven. They actually have that on packages now.
Well, in a regular oven, those paper.
But I'm just saying,
packages
people should know that. Common sense.
Larry, it's been 50 years since they taught any common sense in the U.S. Anyway.
Well, that don't make no common sense, Leonard.
That goes against common sense there, buddy.
That's the whole point. You're not supposed to have any common sense.
This is so much fun talking about this. I got you guys fired up. I hardly even got through the first paragraph of this article. All right. Common areas of wasteful spending are. We can name a lot of them. Throwing out leftovers we were just talking about, or expired
food. There are people that will not eat leftovers, and I do not understand them.
I don't either. A lot of the stuff tastes better the second time.
Try and throw away rice that has been sitting around for a day or two. See what happens. You're going to get your damn hand cut off. They're going to cut your hand off with a bolo.
Yep. And it'll be a dull one at that.
Yep.
We want to punish you real good, buddy.
One of those coconut choppers that they haven't sharpened in a month.
Oh my goodness, you'll bleed out before anybody comes to your assistance, you know? Yep. Yeah, one pair of jeans is equal to one sack of rice. She's exactly right. One sack of rice and a pair of jeans are about the same price. She's right about that.
Tim says, take the warning labels off and it'll weed the stupid people out of the equation.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the next one.
Talking about jeans. Can you
Yes.
buy Lee jeans there?
I saw. You know what? I imagine you. I've never seen it. I haven't seen Lee jeans, but I have seen the shirts, the marketing shirts that say Lee jeans. Everybody wears those.
Yeah.
It's a very popular attire. But usually I'll see Lee jeans. They mix brand here. They'll be wearing
Oh,
Lee
yeah.
jean shirt, and then they'll be wearing Levi pants, and then I'll see Nike or some of the champion shoes. They don't discriminate here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
There's no brand discrimination going on here. But I imagine you could find Lee jeans.
Yeah.
Amazon delivers
I
here.
wore Lee's most of my life. They just fit
Well,
me better.
if you can't find them in the store, Amazon delivers it here to the
Yeah.
Philippines. So you could order online whatever you need.
And as I understand it, they deliver some things free.
That's right, they do. They handle
I haven't been able to figure out how to tell what, but
Well, I'll tell you what, when I go in there, right, I just put my Filipino address in and it converts everything over to what I can buy. It tells me what I can buy and what the customs duty charge and delivery charge is going to be on the product.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And
only
Crystal says
after
you
I
can
put
buy
my
any brand, but be careful. there's
Philippine
fakes.
address in. What?
Yeah.
Who said
Crystal
that?
says you can buy any brand, but be careful. There are fakes.
Well, I think that half the stuff on Amazon. Oh, never mind. I can't say that. Yeah, I'll get sued for something. I used to go to the outlet stores to buy jeans, 5 pair for $100. Those days are gone forever.
I'm going to tell you, I would buy my jeans off of Amazon if I was over there so I could get the size that fit me. When you're a fat old man like me, it's hard to find the right size in the Philippines. So if you order from Amazon, you can get your size.
Right. ABCM channel is in the house. You know what? She's fun. I got to tell you that I like her. She does silent live stream. Well, not silent live streams. She plays the music in the background. But ABCM, I'd like to ask you, where do you get that music from? Because I was in your channel, as you know, last night, and I was just like, man, I like this music. Keeps me pumped up, keeps me motivated, keeps me wanting to live another 20 years. ABCM. So where do you find that music, though?
It keeps you pumped up, though. I can't listen to it at night and put me to sleep. I would never get to sleep, I mean. Keep me awake.
Larice has some of the nicest lips in the business. What did I just say?
I have to agree with you, though.
Yeah, Larice we're going to be meeting up in Manila soon, and so I'm excited about it.
Well, tell her hi from the gang.
Yes, definitely.
I'm very, very
my
excited
best.
about it. We'll figure out some video to do. We'll try and find some. It's probably going to involve going to Krispy Kreme. Blah. You know what? That should be it.
Donuts, man.
I just came up with it.
Coming up in style.
Leonard, I just came up with it, right? Just like that. It's a stroke of genius.
Yep.
I have to go to Krispy Kreme and eat a donut, and then she has to go to Dunkin' Donuts. It's going to be the Krispy Kreme Dunkin' Donut Challenge.
Well, but the thing is, Dan, if
Yeah.
you go to Krispy Kreme with Larice and have donuts there, you'll never go back to Dunkin'.
You're mean. You're so mean, Leonard. I thought you and I were getting along okay.
Krispy Kreme, the regular donut when it's warm, it's hard to beat, man. Hard to beat those.
James is in the house. James, how's it going? How are you? What's hanging back in sunny California? Or is it raining? Someone told me it was raining there. All right. Well, it hasn't rained here in a month. What are you going to do? Alfie's here.
It hasn't rained here in almost a week.
Yeah.
Mercy Me is here.
I said almost a week.
James, thanks for dropping by. I think we're starting to see a few ninja channels coming in, which is fine. I like it. The more the merrier.
How are you doing, bud?
The more the merrier on the, when it comes around to the big spin on May 31st, we have 24 million people in the house. All right. The next one coming that's on the list, right? Wasteful behaviors. Frequenting fast food places.
Definitely.
Leonard, what do you think?
Definitely.
I
haven't
definitely
been-
a waste of a lot of good money.
Yes. I haven't been in a fast food place for, I think last time I took Isaac there was probably 3 years ago.
Well, I
Oh
can't
my
say
gosh,
it's been- I can't say it's been
we
that
need
long.
to award you with some kind of a prize.
Well, whatever it is, I'll take it.
Then we'll award you this. Hey,
Hey, Larry, at least there's something.
yeah. Well, like I said,
Hey.
you've gone longer than I can't say that.
Tim is
I try
saying,
not to go very often. If I'm going to a restaurant, I prefer to go to one that's what you'd call a sit-down restaurant.
Yes.
Tim is saying, take the warning labels off the food, and
I
it will
know.
weed out the stupid people. It will weed the stupid people out of the equation.
Yeah.
Hey, Retro's in the green room.
Hey, Retro.
Retro.
Hey,
what's up?
Retro, how you doing, man?
Hey, bud.
All right, the next one on the list is buying overpriced beverages.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. There's nothing
I
better
have.
than a $3 cup of Americano from Starbucks or Bose Coffee.
Well, what I was
Part
doing,
of the whole thing is being seen by
Well,
your
no.
peers.
now for
Part of
me,
the thing, part of the
what-
experience.
For me, what I was paying overpriced for is at work, when I work the 12-hour shifts, I'm going to drink something else besides what I take in, which makes no sense. Because what I do is I usually buy a soda. Well, I can take a soda from the house if I have it, and it's going to cost me a whole lot less than what I'm paying to get that soda out of the machine. So I cut that out. It's also like if you go to the not the grocery store, but even the grocery store. If you buy just a couple bottles of pop instead of a 6-pack, you're overpaying. So there's different ways of overpaying. The last time I was in a bar, I was drinking straight up Coke, and for less than $1 more, I could have been drinking a mixed drink. I mean, they were really overcharging you for that Coke.
Oh, yeah. They really
So that's
messed
why
it
I
up in
don't
bars.
I don't go to the bars because I don't drink and drive. And so it's like, no, I'll stay out of the bar. I don't need to go to that bar and drink overpriced Coke. Not
Sir
doing it.
Luke is here. May the force be with you.
Hey,
Hello,
Sir
Luke.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers. Sorry, guys. I just watched a very sad part of a movie.
Which movie?
It may not be anything to you guys, but it's a Rugrats in Paris, a movie. I watched the part where Chucky Finster dances alone because apparently in the movie, according to the movie facts on IMDb, Chucky's mother in the movie, not Chucky the doll, but like Chucky from Rugrats, his mother in history of the movie being made, his mother died of cancer. That's why in the show he only has his dad. So,
Okay.
and I watched the scene where Chucky's.
I've seen a
dancing
couple
alone.
cartoons of the Rugrats, but I've never seen any of the movies.
90s and early 2000. This is actually from 2000. I was 2 years old when this movie came out, and boy, a tearjerker.
Now, the real tearjerker for me as a kid was Old Yeller.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that was a tearjerker for me. For those of you
Remind
that
me
have
again
never
what
seen the
Old
movie
Yeller is.
like I said, for those people that have never seen Old Yeller was a dog. The kid got the dog, didn't like Old Yeller at all, ended up loving him. The dog saved the kid, but he ended up getting rabies, so they had to shoot the dog.
Yep.
and that's the tearjerker part is when they had to kill his dog.
Yeah.
And then later on, he got a puppy just like Old Yeller, and he was Young Yeller. That's at the end of the movie. And,
Damn.
I had forgotten that part.
oh yeah, that just like I said, that when he had to shoot the dog, that was a tearjerker to me.
It was.
Larice likes the donut challenge idea.
I don't blame her. She was an exciting challenge.
I'm drinking coffee.
Yeah. Well, I didn't
wish
even
I
have
had
coffee today. I got around a
Wow.
little late and I had some things I wanted to do, so I got dressed up and didn't get to do what I was going to do today. I was going to get my picture taken for the passport. That's why I'm wearing a dress. But this is also one of those dress shirts.
That's
that,
kind of a casual shirt.
It is, but I mean, for me, it's during the summer, it's dress.
Yeah.
I usually wear the T-shirts or, short sleeve shirts. Now, I got two of these just alike. One's green, this one's blue. So I'll probably wear the green one tomorrow. Instead of wearing a
How many
T-shirt.
blue shirts do you have? That might fit into this conversation a little bit.
I have a lot of blue shirts.
Uh-huh. Impulse buying is the next one on the list.
But no. That's the
Impulse
well,
buying
I
is
buy
buying all
shirts.
sorts of different colors.
Yeah, I got different colors, but
Well, you look
blue
good in
my
blue.
favorite.
Obviously, that's why you have a whole bunch of blue shirts.
I do, but
Yeah,
they're different
all I
shades
have
of
is
blue.
blue, black, and gray.
I got some gray. I got some green. I got an orange. They're not all blue, but I probably have more blue because I like the color blue.
Yep.
It's that simple. To me, you buy what you like.
Yeah.
And when I went online to buy these shirts, these are those SPF 50s. This is one of those shirts.
Oh yeah.
They had the blue, the green, and I almost bought an orange.
Hey,
but I
I'm wearing one right now. I'm wearing my SPF 50 shirt.
Yeah, well, this is, like I said, more of a casual dress shirt. It's got the collar, the long sleeves, it buttons up. And the other one's just like this, but it's green. But yeah,
They come from China.
Mine doesn't. Well, this one might.
Where's yours
I'm
come
not sure
from?
what it is.
Bangladesh? Where did yours come from?
A couple of mine actually come from the U.S.
Well,
paid
la ti
big
da.
money for those. He paid big money for those.
No, these are called swim shirts. They're not that expensive. They're just like a T-shirt with a long sleeve. It depends on the brand you get. They weren't
Yeah.
even but about $20.
Anime.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, so next, frequenting dine-in restaurants. Oh, I'm guilty of that.
I am too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not
I'm
anymore.
guilty of frequenting dine-in restaurants. You saw the video I did on Minnie and I
Dez is
went
here, by the way.
into the lemongrass. Who's here?
Dez,
Hey, Dad,
Dez.
how you doing?
Hi, Dad. How you doing? How's everything in Caridad this morning? Paying excessive or unnecessary interest. That's what I'm talking about. Why would
That's
you
my
pay
biggest one.
double money for something when all you have to do is save your money until you could afford to buy it?
Exactly.
Why would you guys go out and get store credit?
well,
Yeah,
you
I've
know
been
why
guilty
I
of
used
all
to do
that.
it. Come on, let's.
Store credit is the worst form of usury in the Philippines, in my opinion. Don't do it. Mertz, don't do it. No matter how much you want it. Don't do it.
Tim, not only are they hard on your teeth, but it's hard on your digestive system as well.
Yeah.
You see what he said?
Yeah, but Tim, I got some. I don't know if you guys know this or not. No, you're very intelligent group. I'll bet you do know this. Did you know that? First of all, Berkshire Hathaway does not invest in gold anything. Neither does Bill Gates.
I'm sorry to hear JJ's got a fever again there, Des.
Is he
Everything else
teething?
is good except for JJ's fever again.
Is he teething?
If he's teething, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Give him
not
something
good,
frozen
but
to chew on.
yep,
He's teething, that'll help.
yep.
You get those
Um,
waffles, those small waffles, you freeze them, gives him something to chew on, and
This cold,
and
yeah.
then you can eat it as well. It's not as bad for him.
they ought to have those Des over at Metro Mart. All right. So yeah. So the interest thing is a horrible, horrible thing because you become enslaved to your creditors.
Yep.
You become basically enslaved right now. See, what I like about the Philippines is even though a lot of people are having a hard time, they're having a hard life, but they know how to mitigate certain things. In other words, if they're hungry, they will grow food, or they'll figure out how to get food, like going out and going fishing, that sort of thing, trading with their neighbors for things, that sort of thing goes on. And so they're able to mitigate the need for food by bartering. Bartering, I guess, is the way they do it. They'll send somebody out. Somebody will go fishing. If they get lucky and they come home with a catch, they'll either trade it or sell it off to one of their neighbors.
Yep.
And I love that. So they're very enterprising. It's just like when Minnie, she first moved over to the United States. It was the most interesting thing watching her because right away, without even me saying anything to her, she started going out and telling her friends that she was meeting. It was networking. She was out there
Hey,
networking.
Daddy, how you doing there, boss?
Hi,
I
Larry.
Hey, Ed. How you doing?
How's it
Larry.
going, Mac
Hi,
Daddy?
Dan.
Minnie was saying, I'll cut hair, I do nails, I do this, I do that. I'll make lumpia for you, I'll make this, I'll make that. And she had a whole business startup almost immediately once she landed in the United States. I mean, she had money flowing within months.
Hello,
She had a
Patricia.
customer. She had a customer base already established.
I hope
That's
I
kind of
would have
what they
been one of
do.
her customers from the Olympia.
Yeah, I like Olympia.
So do I. Olympia.
Oh,
Lumpia
believe
was
me,
good. I've never
once
tried
people
it.
at work started knowing
It's
about
a
Minnie
Filipino
making
egg
lumpia,
roll, Leonard.
they were ordering
What?
it dozens and dozens at a
Filipino
time. It was
egg roll,
hard to keep
basically.
up.
Well, yeah, I've seen it made.
Well, we
But I've
call them
never gotten
spring
to eat it.
rolls.
Yeah. But I'm just saying. No,
Shanghai lumpia is what they wanted. They wanted the meat-filled lumpia.
Oh, yeah, that's the best one.
I like
Yeah.
the shrimp Olympia.
No, I like the.
You're
I like
weird.
The Shanghai. I like the.
You're
Shanghai.
weird, Mac Daddy.
Why?
Well, we've known that for a long time.
You're going to
Aw.
fit right in the Philippines. They love shrimp lumpia and stuff like that. I hate it.
Well, the ones I get, they make the Olympia with the cabbage and everything, and they put like just one shrimp down the whole thing. So every time you take a bite, you get a shrimp with all that.
Do they devein them and shell them?
I thought
They're
James
sweet,
was
they're
my. I
salad
thought James
shrimp.
was
They're
my.
Yes.
Was my
See, I'm-
California friend. James, is that you from Sacramento? No, don't put James in the big spin. James's family from Sacramento.
Oh.
If he wins, I ain't gonna pay him anyway.
See, I'm used to Philadelphia Chinese food, and in Philly, they got this Chinese warehouse where they do all the wok filling, like ingredients. Saute it in this giant, like 4x8 wok, and then they package it out and sell it off to the Chinese restaurants in the Philadelphia region.
That's the way to make money.
So the ingredients to make egg rolls or spring rolls or different ingredients, the Chinese places can buy a 5-gallon bucket of it already cooked off and save themselves money because they buy the wrappers and the egg roll filler, so to speak. It's good. So I can tell you that it allows them guys to make a lot more Chinese food. Have you?
All right. Next thing on my list for excessive things that Americans do is they purchase name brand when generic is comparable. They love name brand in the Philippines. You can't get them off of that for nothing. But you know what? I don't see why you just can't take an old pair of generic jeans and go make up some fake Levi labels and slap them on the jeans, and away you go.
Because they'll arrest you. That's called knockoff.
Yep.
In the Philippines,
They may not.
they have knockoff police in the Philippines. I've never seen a knockoff police officer.
I'm just saying, it's, when you're talking about jeans, though, I can tell you just by the quality of the denim, the way they're made, I can tell you whether they're real or not.
You can. I don't think the average Filipino can tell the difference.
No.
Well, that's probably true. They won't know the difference.
Yeah.
I'll know the difference just by the thread they're sewn with, the rivets where they're at.
I mean, everything. I mean, I go through the store, right? It's impossible to sell a pair of Nike sneakers for $20. How is that possible?
It is. I'll tell you how. Nike has different marketing areas. I think I was telling Leonard or Larry this last week. I have a friend who's Korean. He used to have people fly in from Korea all the time with 200 pair of sneakers to supply his sneaker stores. Nike has Nikes that are made for Asia and not America. They're different. They're a little different quality, but they're the Nike brand name. They're even different models that what they send to America.
It makes sense, but I didn't know that.
There's another thing that you run into in the Asian market. You know what rebranding is? Rebranding is Hitachi will make cordless drills or electric half-inch drills or whatever.
Yeah.
They're sold under the Hitachi name. They're sold under the Milwaukee name in America. And all they do is change the case color and sticker. They're also sold at Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight will have the same half-inch drill, except it'll have plastic hardware to go with it, where the Milwaukee one will have like an aluminum depth rod and stuff. Same drill, same quality. Stanley Bostitch, the floor nailer that they sell for $475, you can buy it for $99 at Harbor Freight. The only thing difference, the handle that you hold. I've had them both. When I was doing contracting work, you'd be surprised what's rebranded in this country that's sold at like Lowe's and Home Depot for much higher numbers, and then sold by the off-brand retailers like Harbor Freight for a lot less.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Stanley
Griselda Mercado is in the house. Hey, so usually people's last names, when I see Mercado, that's Market, right? So is your family in the food marketing business, or they own a market? Sorry store? Just curious. My last name means son of a blacksmith. A lot of people have modified that to mean something else.
My last name is Baker by a brook. Is what Beck means. And that means that my family was bakers and bread makers. And the reason why they used to use stream water back in the day for making bread, does anybody know?
It was probably the cleanest water.
Actually, it's the opposite. They used stream water because it contained a natural fungus called yeast. You got to remember, until the mid-1800s and Louis Pasteur, we didn't have yeast. Yeast is a product that's a fungus, and well water wouldn't necessarily contain yeast, but stream water would.
Hey, by the way, since you mentioned it, Mac Daddy, let me ask you a quick question here.
Sure.
So you know how everybody says that it's the water that makes the pizza?
That makes the bread, yes.
Yeah, so why can't you market the water for that purpose and then get rich? In other words, why can't, if people say, New York pie, right? It's the water that makes the pie. Why can't you market New York, I don't know, Hudson River water? What do they use in there? I don't know.
No, they don't use Hudson River water. Have you ever had New York tap water, Dan?
Yeah, I have. It's been a while, but I have.
New York tap water is incredible. It's like drinking spring water. Why is it so good? It's one of the
Yeah.
10
Why?
best city waters in the world. Why?
Well, I'm asking you.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. I just figured I'd raise the question. Why is it so good? Because the water in New York City comes from the Adirondack Mountains and the springs in the Adirondack Mountains. And they have a like 32-foot tunnel that they put in back in the 70s. It goes all the way to New York City and supplies the whole region.
Well, why can't we get rich marketing pizza water?
You could use spring water. And a lot of times,
No, it doesn't. Spring water, you kind of look at it and go, oh,
well,
it's some other idiot that's trying to sell us tap water, calling it spring water. Come on.
no, I can
What's
tell you that real spring water is
pizza
real
water
spring
would be
water.
the marketing, would
Well,
be the
pizza-
marketing. Yeah.
Well, that's why the beer in the Philadelphia region was always so good too, in the Pennsylvania area. There's a little bit of limestone in the water. That's what it is.
What do you guys think of my idea of marketing pizza water?
Probably work.
Would it work?
I don't think so.
So, when you look at the other stuff that works, yeah, I think it would.
Well,
When you look at the other stuff.
You're going
Of
to
course,
need
that's retro. I think he's talking about you and your pet rock. I think he's talking about you and your pet rock.
can I tell you this?
He
To
said
make-
if you could market a pet rock to retro, well, you can probably make $1 million marketing pizza water.
Well,
There was times people thought you were nuts trying to sell spring water.
you need 3.5 gallon of water to make a 50-pound
You
bag
know what?
of
I think
flour.
Larry's right about that.
and a
I
bag
do
of
recall. I do recall something like that. People started marketing. How about here's a failure: caffeinated water. That was a big bomb. Why did caffeinated water fail?
I don't
People
know.
would rather have coffee.
Yep.
Oh,
Hey,
that's a good point.
Dan,
Why would you drink the water when you have coffee?
Exactly.
Dan, I got a pet water for you that you could market.
What's
You
that?
could. Well, you ever notice
Go
how
ahead.
when everybody's dogs go up and meet each other and stuff, you
Yeah.
could probably sell pet water that smells and tastes like other dogs' asses.
Why
That's
would
weird.
Why would you want to buy that? You can just let them drink.
That's a
what they
very
want.
strange idea, but I like it. It's so strange. I like the idea.
Sell toilet water. I mean, come on.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
All right. Next
There's
on my
more to it
list,
than the water, Dan.
I-
Is
number
the
9
food.
on my list. Not comparing prices or looking for discounts. This is something that Filipinos are expert at. Comparing prices.
Yep.
Oh, I
You
am
know?
too. I'm number crazy. Numbers make me insane.
In the Philippines, you'd fit right in
Oh yeah.
because they're
Hello, Ansel, boss.
constantly price checking everything. It takes a long time for them to make a decision sometimes.
Hey, Sammy, how are you?
Sammy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sammy just
I didn't hear her come
Yeah,
in.
she says you can't eat the water, Koya. Ha ha ha.
you can't eat the water. No, you can sniff it though.
Well,
Sammy.
here's the thing with water, Dan.
Sammy, you can sniff the water. That's the most important thing.
You know what I like about water in the Philippines?
Yeah.
They have these water purification stations where they sell purified water.
Right.
I'm like a water expert. I know a lot about water from being it. My friend owned a huge pet store, and one of the things I had to do all the time was water chemistry to figure out why people's fish weren't living and things like that, and what pollution I had to control in their aquarium environment so their pets would live. The biggest thing with water is RO water. You know what RO water is? Reverse osmosis.
Yeah.
You run 8 gallon of water basically through a filter and get like 1 gallon back, and you dump 7.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Sammy's
something like
up.
that. The thing with
How you
RO
doing, Sammy?
is it isn't the
Doing
greatest
good.
filtration system because any molecule smaller than a water molecule will still pass through.
Well, they got
I'm so,
membrane molecules. If you
well,
do RO water,
they have
no
a
matter,
problem here in the Philippines with the water, and I'll tell you what.
yeah, but you're
What's a
missing
little bit
something.
disturbing to me, right? Is it if you were on top, even if you trust the water company that you're buying from, you got to go and test the water yourself. You have to test it occasionally to make sure they're changing the filters
Yeah.
and they're on top of the bacteria
Well, the
count.
filters
So
tell you
clean.
when they need to be changed pretty much by the water pressure. Once the water pressure goes up, the filter's clogged. Even if it's a membrane filter, and that gets out the ultrafine molecules in water. RO water is 98% pure when it's done right. You can never
Well,
get pure
you
water.
can't. You cannot do it right with RO because the membrane has to have enough. Has to be porous enough for a water molecule to get through. The things that are going to hurt you the most, their molecules are smaller than a water molecule.
Well,
Therefore, they will still pass through the membrane.
well, there's still other ways of purifying your water. There's
Oh,
electronic.
there are.
There's
There's salt.
there's
There's
there's coconut
there's
carbon and carbon
charcoal
filtration,
activated
Activated
charcoal
charcoal.
activated
Yeah.
carbon.
right?
There's D-light if you can get it.
And UV light's a big one. You hit that one, Leonard.
See,
That's right.
you know
That
what? It's so interesting here because you can purify the water using coconut charcoal, and
Yep.
people don't do it. People aren't doing it. I don't know why.
They don't know probably.
well, that's another thing. Why do they give the rice hulls away in the Philippines? Rice hulls in America we would sell. Coconut carbon we would sell. The coconut husk fiber makes a
Exactly.
great hydroponic straight for growing things in.
They just
Oh
don't
man, you
know.
know what? I didn't think
They just
about that,
don't
but you're
know.
right. You're right. Coconut fiber. The fiber can be used as the bedding for your hydroponic farm.
Yes. It's the substrate that you can grow your plants in.
Right.
The
That's brilliant.
the rice hulls are great for composting to improve that Filipino soil. Carbonized rice hulls are good too. You burn the rice
I
hulls
wondered,
and put them
could
in
you
your garden.
Mac Daddy or anybody who knows, can you test the water using litmus paper?
Well, it depends on what you want to test for. If you went
Yeah.
to Lazada or Shopee in the Philippines, they have water test strips, and they got test strips with like 3 or 4 little testing blocks on them, and you dip a strip and it'll test you for.
The best way to do it is with like a pool test kit.
Well, they got one that's better than a pool test kit. Pool test kit's only a couple spectrums. When you start getting into the liquids,
The
by the
one
way,
I
don't
used
get
to
that
have was
liquids on
6.
your finger. The best ones are there's a test kit out there that has like 8 different vials of chemical, and you put so many drops in each, and or a pill or whatever it is. You basically test for nitrate, dissolved solids, overall hardness, which is telling you how much dissolved limestone or whatever in your water.
Right.
There's a lot, but
The
there's like
problem,
8 different
Crystal is
things.
saying, the problem at the refilling stations is the sanitation. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what we're talking about, Crystals. But your idea of going to the mountain and getting mountain spring water, I love it. I absolutely love that idea.
That's going to be cleaner. It
That's
is,
going to be
but
Well,
cleaner than the
Especially
refilling
yeah,
if you
but
can
wait
station.
get
a minute.
especially if you can get it where it runs through limestone, because limestone acts as a natural filter.
right.
But there's a
It's
problem.
running through. Most of it's running through volcanic rock.
Yeah,
That
right.
should work
That's
too.
all good, but you're missing something.
What's that?
After you get that water on the mountain and put it in your container, that water's already contaminated. The
Not if
biggest
your
thing that
container's
you got to
clean.
do with water and why they do it is you got to chlorinate it. Chlorine cuts off oxygen and is astringent and will
And
stop
it
any
poisons
bacteria
you.
from growing in your water.
Can they use Clorox bleach? Can they use a little bit of that to
Yes,
kill
a
it?
couple
Yeah,
drops of
actually, you could.
bleach. Yes, that's what they basically do.
Problem
But
with
right
that
now,
is
I see a lot of people boiling it. I see them boiling it for like 3 to 5 minutes.
And why do they do that?
to
I'll
try
tell
to
you
boil
that one.
off to try to boil off the contaminants.
Well, not the contaminants, but the bacteria. Anytime you raise any
Yeah, kill
liquid like
bacteria.
water above 165 degrees, you kill off all the bacteria in the water.
Yeah, and boiling is 212. So
Right.
All
That,
right,
but I'm just
guys.
saying. You got to remember. You know anything about fat Tom?
No.
about
Fat
what?
Tom's not a kid that eats at your restaurant. That's food, acidity, time, temperature, oxygen, and moisture. That's what you want to break down when you're talking about water and bacteria.
That's okay, Sammy.
That has to do with like the Serve Safe and Sanisafe
Sorry,
food
we
handling
couldn't pay.
certificate that you got to qualify for in the United States to own a restaurant. I'm sorry, I know
Okay.
so much about it. I was a chef for a long time.
But let me ask a question. It
Yes.
sounds like you know something. Let's say, have you guys been on YouTube and have you watched those videos? They're saying the power of water.
No.
What about it?
That's a homework assignment.
What do you want to know about the power of water?
The molecular changes that happen when it goes through the plumbing system and things like that.
I don't know so much about that, but I know that they put a little bit of like abrasive in it and cut steel with it.
They say that there's a thing on the internet on YouTube where they're talking about that water thinks or water transmits information.
That's
I don't
nice,
know any.
retro.
I don't know anything
Yeah,
about
and
that.
you know what? I'm becoming convinced because I tried an experiment. I took a clean glass of water, and I wrote. I mean, this is going to be really weird, but hey, it's live streaming with Weird Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Here's what I did.
I
Here's
don't
what I
know.
did. So I took a glass of fresh water, right, and I did this. I wrote the word on it. Maybe you can't see it. It
The
says
other side. There you
drink.
There you go.
Drink.
Strength. Okay.
Yeah. And I set the glass of water on top of the word. And then I drank the water. I let it sit there for a minute, and then I drank the water, and then for the rest of the day, I was feeling like Hercules.
I don't know about that. Can I tell you something
You
about
are
water?
easily convinced, aren't you, Dan?
Yes,
Was
he
that
is.
subliminal suggestion?
Yeah.
What was that? Was that a conscious? Was that a what happened to me? Did I hypnotize
I
myself?
don't know, but can I tell you this about water? Water's constantly changing. Anything that sits over, say, 34 degrees for 4 hours
Yeah.
starts really growing lots of bacteria. Bacteria is always growing and changing. And interestingly enough, the bacteria that you grow is DNA. And say
Mm-hmm.
between 34 degrees and 160 degrees is where different kinds of bacteria grow. If you want to know all about this, think of Louis Pasteur and pasteurization of milk. If you've ever seen how they pasteurize things, they'll put milk or orange juice in like a silo-sized tank, and then they'll run it through pipes that heat it up and run it to another tank. So in between this tank and the next tank, it gets heated to like say 165 degrees, and by the time it gets to the next tank, it may already be chilled down for storage. That's like
And
canning.
Annie's saying
Think
they
about
use
how you
electric pump
can
for
things.
water. So that means they have a well and they're pumping the water out of the ground, Ann?
Well, groundwater can be contaminated
Any
with
water can
bacteria,
be
with nothing else.
contaminated. You have to. Back in Indiana, there's a lot of people who have wells, and the
Yeah.
state requires they have to be tested in order for them to use it as drinking water. And a lot of times they do find contamination in them, but not all the time. So you can be close to each other. One well may be contaminated, the other one's not. That
Right.
because even though because you're close to them, you're into the same stream.
Right.
And a lot of times they require that the wells today have a chlorinator on them of some kind to put a little bit of
No, they
chlorine
don't
in.
in Indiana. You do not have to chlorinate your water.
Aren't you destroying the water, the value of the water by
That's not,
chlorinating
Larry,
it?
that's
That's
not
my
necessarily
question.
true.
Yeah.
The state may not require.
They put
All right.
chlorine and fluoride in the water, and
But
that
not
really
in the
messes it
wells.
up.
That's why a lot of people won't go in city
Well,
water.
yeah,
They
no,
don't have
not in
to
the
use-
wells, but in
they
any
don't-
any
in
bottom
Indiana,
water.
they do not have to use
All
chlorine.
right. Well, you guys can argue with me all day. I'll tell you how it works.
I'm going to tell you how it works in Indiana. My mother was on a
I'm going to
well.
tell you how it works in the whole damn world if you'd listen. I don't care if it's Indiana. They're going to test your groundwater, and if it has bacteria
Hey
in it,
now,
it's going to be
I love
used
Indiana.
chlorine just to be
Yeah,
safe to drink.
because Larry is from there.
No. In Indiana, you go on the city water if your well is bad. They just
Right.
have you go on city water. You don't do the well.
Well, but here's the thing, Larry. Sometimes you can just clean your well water up enough because it comes out of the ground with bacteria in it, where by just adding a couple drops of chlorine per so many gallons will clear up the bacteria. And you'll have your water tested, and the water department will tell you that this is what you need to do to correct your water. Similar to Culligan telling you if you run it through their water system, one of the things you'll do is run it through these resin beads that take out the water hardness and dissolve solids.
Well, what most people do
Yeah,
back home,
as Sammy's pointing out, this is a tremendously important topic, because we're water. We are water.
But like I said, in Indiana, what most people will do if they have polluted water are
Right, they'll go to city water. It depends on how
but a lot of
contaminated
times
it is.
they will use the well water for their toilets. They'll have two different systems set up.
Yes. Well, it depends on how polluted or contaminated your water is.
Well, like I said, it won't go to your shower, it won't go to your sinks. It just goes to the toilet.
But here in Pennsylvania, we're basically like Indiana. If you have well water, you may want to have a water hardness system put on it, and you may, depending on whether it's hard or acid, and you may want to have a chlorinator added to keep bacteria down. That's all in testing your tap water.
All right, let me ask you a question. Since you seem to be well adverse, okay, what about peroxide?
Hydrogen peroxide?
Yes, hydrogen peroxide.
It's an astringent. It's
for controlling bacteria.
What?
Bacteria. Adding peroxide to the water.
I've never heard of it. I guess it might work, but the simplest thing is to cut off the oxygen. When you want to purify water and stop bacteria, you want to cut the oxygen off. That's why everybody uses chlorine. It's safe and effective.
Well, it's not really safe. That's the problem.
There's safe levels.
Chlorine is toxic to the human body.
Chlorine is one of the most. Leonard, you're exactly right. Chlorine is one of the most toxic chemicals known to man because it's an astringent. It's one of the very few things that'll cut off oxygen. And that's why a lot of people are going to in the United States, because the government can no longer guarantee even the water that comes out of your tap that they deem clean when they put it in at the water plant. They can't guarantee what comes out on your end. You can go to Home Depot today and buy a 30-gallon
miles of pipes that they're going through.
Right. You can go to Home Depot today and buy a 30-gallon a day RO unit and put it under your kitchen sink.
Again, RO units are one of the poorest filtration systems to get.
No, they're not.
They absolutely are.
Well, okay, Leonard, you tell me. Oh, wait a minute, stop. Stop. Stop.
Oh, yeah. I got to stop because you don't want to hear what I'm saying.
Well, I'm trying to explain something and you're interrupting me. You tell me then what you're going to do to get your water 98% pure.
You run it through a 3-stage activated charcoal filter.
That's part of your RO.
I like hearing that.
That has nothing to do with RO.
It's in there.
No, it isn't.
Okay, yes, it is.
Well, you can add it to it, but all
it comes with it.
All RO is the membrane and the tanks that you use and the return pipes that you use to run the water through.
Bye, Tim.
Okay, can I explain something now? when you buy the RO unit at Home Depot, not only is it RO, it's actually got 5 cartridges with it.
Then they've changed them.
There's 3 cartridges. One of them's carbon. One of them's a simple, like, dissolved filter to get all the particles out. That's the first one. Then there's carbon. Then there's the RO membrane. There's multiple canisters. Then they got ones for like soda and beer systems that are even bigger and more units. I know a lot about this because not only did I
used
do,
to sell the damn things, Ed.
yeah, but not only did I, well,
Hey, you know what? You are a chemist, though, because if you can make shine, you probably know what you're talking about.
well, let me tell you
But
this.
that doesn't mean that Leonard doesn't, because
I'm not saying
I
he
think
doesn't
that
know that, but there's the most RO systems are multiple filter, and I'm saying RO, but they're more than RO.
because I think activated charcoal is what we're is I think I'm a fan of using activated charcoal more than I am using chemicals. Like, for example, I just learned recently, right, that I was doing something all wrong. For example, the reason why I brought up hydrogen peroxide was because I'd been flushing a couple of capfuls of chlorine down the toilet to control, bacteria in the septic system to wipe out the smell. But the truth of the matter is,
Dan, is you'll kill the
good bacteria.
good stuff
Right.
that's
Exactly.
I'm working on getting rid of the heavy.
Yeah. And then I found out that if I switched over to hydrogen peroxide, it'll do the same thing without killing the good bacteria.
That sounds a lot more like it. I have never checked into that, but that
Here's
does
one
sound
of
more
the.
like it.
Here's one talking about water systems again. For soda systems for restaurants,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of hardness still left in water, they have what they call an anti-scaling agent. And you run your regular, like, water system for your soda machine, and for your ice machine, you hook up the other line that's scaling agent. And if you got scaling agent on your ice machines, like we all run in the convenience store and get that ice, if there's scaling agent on that ice machine, the ice that comes off it is not very healthy to drink because the scaling agent is really bad for your body.
Oh wait,
So-
can they use I don't know, some
They would
kind
need a
of a
water
non-chemical way to eliminate the scaling problem in ice?
They could, but it's very expensive, and they allow them to use this anti-scaling agent here all over this country. And when you're buying that convenience store beverage, the scaling agent is really bad for you. And if you eat an ice cube from it, you can kind of taste it. They taste a little bit acidy, and that's the scaling
Buko
agent.
juice, yes. Buko juice is the way to hydrate in the Philippines. Coconut water. So you stay away from the water. You stay away from, if you can't handle drinking the 8 glasses of water, then the way you rehydrate is by drinking coconut water.
Well, a lot of parts of the world, water naturally out of the ground contains arsenic.
Yep.
And one of the ways that they purify water in Africa is grow watermelons. They grow these giant 200-pound watermelons that'll get them up to 5 gallons of purified water that's watermelon juice.
Oh, that makes sense to me.
Yep. That is true.
I use the Brita system, and I just looked it up. It says the Brita standard filter uses a coconut-based activated carbon filtration media alongside an ion exchange resin.
Voyager family, they don't have cows in Saudi Arabia. A little Saudi joke there, Voyager family.
That's one. Larry, you just touched on one there, too. One of the things you want to do is deionize the water, and that takes out one of the electrons that allows everything else to stick to the water particle.
Hey, how you doing, Sammy?
Well,
I know so much about water from dealing with it.
So that's what I use here.
Hey, what happened to Retro? Did we end up chasing Retro away?
I don't know. He dropped off.
Which one of you guys is responsible for chasing retro
I'll
away?
take the blame. I'll take the blame.
No,
I mean, was it
You're being nice
was
to
it the
Tom.
comment I made on the pet rock?
I
What
get
happened?
fired up about water though because, well, like I'll tell you this: in the pet store industry, we
Well,
take.
if the water ain't right, you don't want to go out and kill somebody, do you? I mean,
Well,
really?
well, here's what we do in the pet store industry: we buy coral from all over the world and fish, and I used to bring fish and coral in from the Philippines, and we take reverse osmosis and water purified through the carbon and all them other like 4 filters. So we got this 98% pure water, and then we add what they call an ocean sea mix, which is salt and minerals back to the water to keep our invertebrates, our marine corals and things alive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then we got to feed them. One of the things we can feed them sometimes is egg whites steamed in water
We'll
and
welcome
things
you
like
back when
that.
you come back, and if we're still going.
Huh?
And Dunham says, Sir Dan, I will do breakfast first. Permission to leave the chat. I enjoy the live stream. Intelligent co host, too. So I was telling her we'll welcome her back if we're still
Yes.
going.
Permission granted.
Another one I know a lot about, not only water, but from being in the pet industry, is light and how to generate full spectrum artificial light and how much you need. And high pressure sodium and metal halide and different kinds of LED and incandescent and all the light spectrums. You got to break it down with a prism to look at it.
They would love you in the Philippines. They have a light shortage in the Philippines.
What, light bulbs?
No,
Yeah, they got no light. They can't afford to pay the electric bills.
Well, I got a way of generating light for them. You know, here's something that I've discovered in America. You can buy used solar panels that only give you 80% of the electric. The big thing is you need a battery to harness the sunlight during the day to run through an inverter to have electricity.
Yeah, so let me ask you this question. I know we're going sideways on my topic, but this is interesting.
What?
So I've been telling people, I've been watching YouTube videos that say that I should be staying away from the fancy stuff and going with marine batteries, 24 volt. What's your idea about that for storing energy?
Good idea.
They're very expensive.
That too.
They're cheap.
No,
They're
marine
cheap
batteries
comparatively.
aren't bad.
Compared to what?
Compared to, salt and sea batteries. Lithium ion.
Oh, lithium ion, sure. Well, my recipe that I came up with to do my home in solar, for $3,500 I can buy enough solar panels.
I'm going to step away for a minute, guys.
For less than
All right, be
$1,000,
careful.
I can buy enough car batteries to put under my house.
Yeah, the
Which
problem
would
with
give
car
me
batteries. The problem with car batteries is, I mean, it's a good idea and it'll give you what you need, but they're not deep cycle enough, and they run down too fast. That's
Well, they'll
why.
run down. That's why
That's why
I'll
they always
have a-
use the old phone batteries.
Hey, you're scaring me, Voyager family.
Well,
Leonard,
that's why I'll have a
that
large bank of
bacteria.
car batteries. But you're right.
Holy
I'll be
crap.
depending on recharging them like daily.
That bacteria is the kiss of death.
Well, yeah, that's what you have to do. But that's
I
the
also-
reason why most of the solar systems are set up. They used to use the old phone batteries,
Right.
and those
Now they're
things will-
using.
they're probably using like diesel batteries and stuff now.
Here's
Well, actually,
the thing.
they make batteries for that purpose now. I think.
Well, they do, but here's the thing. The junkyard down the street will sell me enough batteries cheap enough that when I string them together in series, I will get enough, because I got to take 3 12-volt batteries to get a 36 volt. And I got to string them all in series and then run them.
Right.
And you got to be careful with that too, because when you're charging batteries, you know what batteries give off?
Acid.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
The
Hydrogen,
hydrogen bubbles
hydrogen
Yeah, they have to be
from the
vented. You have to
electrolysis.
have plenty
it's
of.
hydrochloric acid.
All right. Well, the hydrogen is very explosive. You got to be careful.
You got to
Exactly.
vent your batteries
Yep.
I'd have to keep them in their own little tin shed with a vent on the roof. Exactly.
with a
Yep.
vent on the roof. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Or
Wouldn't hurt to have
basically,
a
I was
window
going
there
to.
too.
Well, I need a 20-foot shipping container that's vented, and then I need about 40 solar panels in my yard. Interestingly enough, if I put them in my yard on cinder blocks
Yeah.
and on the ground, I don't need a permit. If I mount them to my home, I need a permit to do it
That is interesting.
Hey, that's
because
news we could use.
Yeah.
I'm going to take advantage of that. I think.
Every place is different on their regulations, so you
I mean,
can't
if you
just
set them
go
up in your
by.
driveway, sitting each one leaning on an angle on a cinder block, you can get away with that. But when you
Larice, you
mount
didn't
them to your
overdo
home,
it on the Emperador, did you, for your
they
birthday
become a permanent
celebration?
fixture, and
Yeah.
it has to
Larice,
do with the engineering of your home.
Right.
That's why you need a permit.
Dang it. Where'd that one go?
Where'd who go?
It was a comment that was on the screen, and then I was going to answer it, but by the time the conversation quieted down enough to answer it, it was gone. Something about dairies in Saudi Arabia.
yeah, the aureus bacteria
Yeah.
that was
The Voyagers family.
yeah,
Yeah.
that scared the crap out of me, quite frankly. I
Well,
didn't know that was the bacteria they were battling.
that's why they have to homogenize, or I mean,
Yes.
pasteurize first, then
Right.
homogenize the milk for sale.
Yes.
It makes you
In
not want to
effect,
drink milk anymore, you know?
well, which in effect means they cook everything out of it. So
Yes.
it's not. And that's why they have to add so much sugar back to it, so people
The,
will drink it.
the Amish here in Pennsylvania got in trouble for selling fresh milk to people
Yep.
because there's a group of people that only want to buy fresh milk
Oh
that's not
yeah,
being
Altadena
Hey,
homogenized
Dairy, they killed them
and
too. The
pasteurized.
Altadena Dairy in Southern California.
I grew up on nothing
Raw
but
milk
fresh milk.
producers.
My granddad lived 2 miles from the house, and he had a dairy. And I actually worked summers and a lot of times on his dairy helping him. So,
You know a lot about it.
well,
Well,
I know how to get the white stuff out of the cow.
Without
Yeah,
using a
I've heard
machine.
people say
Without
you've got
using a
great
machine,
hands,
right,
Leonard.
Has that
I've
rumor
heard
got
people
around
say,
all the way
Leonard,
to the Philippines?
you've got great hands.
well,
Has
how
that,
about this one?
has that rumor got all the way to Philippines too?
It sure has, brother.
All right.
The
I'm proud
color
of that.
and the taste of the milk is affected by what the cows eat.
Absolutely.
Like if they're
And
eating red beet tops, the milk will have a pink tint. If they're eating a lot of garlic in the pasture, the milk will have like a slight onion flavor.
well,
And
check this out.
it's not necessarily a bad thing if you're making cheese with it.
Yeah.
What do you think of what Sir Luke is suggesting here? In ancient Egypt, they drank beer instead of water
Yeah.
because the successful fermentation process meant the water wasn't poisonous.
Well,
Right.
Yeah, well they use
I
That,
don't know
they
how much
use
you guys know about this when you're
the
talking about
alcohol
beer.
content purified the water.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I got one for
do you
go
know why
ahead, Larry.
you know why the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock?
Yeah, to brew beer.
That's right.
They were out of
It's in
beer.
Congress. The letters to Congress. They pulled because they were running out of beer. They wanted to make more beer.
Do
yep.
you know why the English gave their sailors a rum ration every day on ship?
Oh yeah, to help fight scurvy and stuff. The
Yeah.
water.
Well,
you
the
know,
scurvy,
they would always
they
tap the-
needed
They always
citrus
kept the
fruit,
side
but
of the barrel, the water barrel, to make sure all the stuff. Tried to make sure all the stuff went down to the bottom of the barrel. They would always
Yep.
tap it before they got the water.
Well,
Yep.
do you know what they call water and rum mixed?
Grog.
Thank you. That's why they drank grog, was to purify the water.
Yeah.
Yep.
I knew Larry would know all that. He's a Navy guy.
Do you know
Besides that,
what the term scuttlebutt means?
I used to. I can't say now though.
That is where they drag you under the ship and keelhole you,
No.
or what?
No,
No.
that's killed.
That's Keelhole. Scuttlebutt is a place that you get your drink.
A bar?
That's where the drink, the way where you get your drink was called a scuttlebutt. And then they got the water fountains, which became scuttlebutts.
Oh, okay.
And the term scuttlebutt now means rumors, because people would always ask you when you said, "What's the
Stand around the
what is
water fountain and talk.
What's the rumor around the scuttlebutt?"
Right.
So it was
Yeah.
shortened to scuttlebutt.
Guys, do me a favor. I mean, it sounds juvenile maybe, but do that trick that I did with the water.
What trick's that?
Write what you want to convey to yourself. Put it in a clear glass and set the glass of water over the information that you want your body to absorb, and then drink the glass of water.
I'll try it.
Tell me if you feel anything different.
I'm not going to do it tonight because it'll probably keep me awake.
No,
Yeah,
put
you're
sleep
worried
on there.
about it. Yeah.
Put restful sleep on the piece of
back-
paper.
I'm
back-
going to
previous
drink warm
conversation.
water tonight.
You know
I-
why?
They said that's supposed to be good
like-
for you before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
I had
I'll
my
try
first
that.
offer today on my land.
All right.
All right. Did you were they anywhere near what you want?
They offered me half of what I paid for it.
Oh hell. No.
They can guess that.
It was a guy who lived down below me. He called me up. I told him I wanted 17.5, and he just about laughed at me. And then we talked about it for a few minutes, and he explained he lived directly next to the property and was telling me things he wasn't going to allow me to do. I said, I don't want to do any of that anyhow, brother.
First place.
And
Hey,
I said,
First place he can't
If you
stop
own
you.
the place, there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah.
right. Well, I asked him why he didn't buy it, and nobody wanted to pay my landowner what he wanted for it. And I paid him what he wanted for it. That's how I got it. I
sounds
called
like
him back.
It sounds like this guy was telling everybody, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. He couldn't stop him.
He can't stop you.
Well, there's a paper road that runs through his property that he now claims he owns, and I got to go to the township.
If
Because-
it's ever been a deeded access, he can't cut you off.
Exactly. And he claims that he now has the right to. I'm going to go see the township
Yeah.
because I have a double road frontage.
Because Ed, when
What?
you bought that property, you bought that access.
Right. And I was told by the previous owner that I had double road frontage. I had a road in front that is paved and one in back that's not.
Yeah. Sounds like that guy's just trying to steal that hunk of property from you.
Well, I called him back and told him, I said, being that you're the adjoining owner, I need to sell the property. And if I could do a fast deal, I would. And I would give him a really considerable price because he should be the natural owner. I shouldn't be sitting where I'm at. And if they would have offered the previous owner anything reasonable, they would be the owner.
Right.
The guy's just trying to get the property for nothing.
Yep.
He's one of those people.
Well, I
Yeah,
told him
we
take
got
me
a-
out. I told him I would sell it to him for $9,000.
Yeah.
And of course, he doesn't want to step that deep, but that's
Oh,
okay.
heck no.
No.
He doesn't want the property that bad. Unless
I'll
he
tell
can
you how
steal
bad
He
some
doesn't
people
need
can
it.
be. I'll tell
What's
you how
that?
bad some people can be. My grandfather was the kind that if he told you he wanted, let's say he's got a used truck and he's wanting to sell it.
Yep.
Now, my grandfather died in '92, so let's go to back in those days. Let's say he asked for $500. If you told him okay, he'd want more. If you offered him what he asked, he'd want to raise the price. That
Yep.
was my grandfather.
Yeah, my granddad was the same way, and he died in '96, and
My
he was
grandfather
96.
died in '92. He died in '92 at 92. All
I'm
right?
not greedy, but I got to make the right deal.
Well, no, you got to. You
Well,
can't let
that
some idiot cut your
you
pay
just cut me
less
throat.
than what you
Yeah.
paid for. That's ridiculous.
And the thing is, property values are much higher now.
Yeah.
Well, property has went up,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
but the big bonus to my property,
Hello,
although
Brian.
you're limited to where you can build on it, because there's a sewer line and an electric line that runs through it.
Yeah.
Because they run through my property, you also have them there to tap,
Yeah.
meaning you can go public sewer, public water because it's in the street, and electric. You don't have to spend the money to bring that to the property to
Right.
put your house there.
And that'll save you a few thousand right there.
Oh, guys, let me interrupt you for a moment.
Sure,
So
go
I've got Ann, who's the 100 peso winner today.
Oh, congratulations,
Which
Ann.
Ann? Which Ann?
Yeah.
Dowman.
So Ann, on the screen, Dowman.
Okay. Hey, congratulations,
Wow.
Ann.
So Ann, if you wouldn't mind, send me your Gmail address, and your Gmail. What's it called? Your Gcash, and I'll send this right off. Or if somebody has it, and you have my messenger, just send me a message, so that I don't have to do any work. I could just send it off. All right, as you were.
I was gonna say she said she was gonna do breakfast, so she may not be in the chat. So if anybody does
Okay.
have it, please get a hold of Dan. Let him know.
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
at least
let
get
me
a
know
hold
if you
of
got her
her.
Gcash,
If she
and
doesn't
I
come
could
back
send
up,
it off
get a
right
hold of
away.
her and let her know so she can get a hold of Dan.
That's it. Thank you, Larry.
Not a problem. I remember her saying she was going to do breakfast, and she says when she got back, and I hadn't seen her come back in yet.
That's true. I hadn't either.
So I just wanted to make sure that we get the message to her.
I still can't get over Voyager family, man. It's scaring the crap out of me. It makes me never want to drink milk again.
Well, I
Wow.
haven't
If
had
you're
milk
trying
for a
to
long
drink
time.
it for protein, you might as well not.
Like I said,
Why do I have breasts anyway? Is that because of the milk consumption?
That's
No,
because of your
it's from
chicken
the-
consumption.
Chicken?
What the hell?
It's from all of the
fried
all
food.
of the plastic bottles you drink out of, plastic
All the
containers
hormones and all.
you eat your food in, all the soy products, all that's got
Soy. By the way, keep an eye out for that video that we went to the vegetarian. Myself being a vegetarian virgin, I coined that phrase, by the way. I don't want anybody using it without my permission.
What?
Dan, the vegetarian virgin.
Dan, I will always be a virgin. I'm Virgo the virgin.
Anyway, we had, I don't think there's any soy in there. There probably is. No, there probably is. But anyway,
if you're in a
it was
vegetarian
interesting what they
meal.
could do with chickpeas. I love what they could do with chickpeas.
Chickpeas got a lot of estrogen in them too, and starch.
Oh, they do? And that makes you grow breasts?
What do you think estrogen does? That's a female hormone.
And lentils.
My goodness
Have a
gracious!
lot
And
of-
it was so delicious.
Yep.
Leonard, that's why
Lentils
I crack
you
movies
run
now?
into.
What's that?
Is that why
You
I
run
crack
into-
movies now?
It
I don't know.
contributes to it.
They have lentils in a lot of vegetarian food, and lentils are interesting in the Middle East. Not only can you make falafel and everything from them, lentils don't like a lot of fertilizer. That's why they grow so well over there, and they don't need it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the second most nutritious seed after soybean, they'll tell you.
Yeah, and soy, when you consider all of the toxins and bad stuff that's in it, aren't very nutritious.
Well, I'm going to take your word for it. I'm not a fan of soy, but I did eat the chickpeas and I liked them.
Oh yeah, chickpeas are good.
Well, they squeeze all the oil out of the soybeans. They heat them up and squeeze them for oil. And then they take the leftover mash and make animal feed, like pig food and chicken food. And so they're getting you coming or going.
Very appetizing to me.
Well, to them it
Hey,
is.
by the way, before we wrap up, did you guys see the Filipina Peas latest video?
Yes,
Oh.
I did.
I've seen Larry's too. The bird bath and the I'm hanging out on my deck.
We're just
Hey, I haven't seen Bird Bath. I'm gonna have to go look. I'm gonna have to go look for that because
I missed
it's under the
I
shorts.
missed one of them.
a bird bath would make a great short video. I think.
There's no bird in it, but I just show. It's a nice looking bird bath.
It's
Yeah.
a heated bird bath too,
Yeah.
so that way they can
The
get it all
bottom,
winter.
the
That's
bottom, so the
important.
top part's not heated.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to. As a matter of fact, man, Minnie and I, we have to run out and we have to come up with you know, another video that we will pray will go viral, so I can get
Hold on a minute. And
my watch hours
Durham,
up.
you won the $100 peso. I mean, not $100, the 100 peso giveaway today. So make sure you get the information, your GCAS information, to Dan, so he can send you that 100 peso. And I just saw that you popped back in, so I wanted to make sure you know you won. And so, like I said,
Yeah, and you're a winner. Winner, chicken dinner.
so get your GCash information to Dan, and he'll send you
Yep,
that
there you
100 peso.
go. Coffee and donuts with Dan, but Dan can't be there.
So you can have whatever you want. You don't have to have the coffee and donuts. It's your
No.
100 peso. You do with it what you want.
Yep.
And Ann says, "Oh my God."
Oh my gosh.
Hey Dan, I got an upcoming stream topic for you too.
Oh, give it to me.
Rice in the Philippines.
What about it?
Yeah.
Rice is
Did you just rice
There's
is
many
life,
kinds
brother.
of- well, yeah, but there's so many kinds of rice and grades of rice, and you can even buy broken rice. Have you ever seen that
You
one?
know what?
Yeah.
I like it. I like that idea. Let's do it. Let's do a live stream on it.
And oh, by the way, Ann says she will buy donuts and coffee.
All
There
That's
you go.
right.
fantastic.
Enjoy, Ann.
All right.
They
Judge or
they sell
somebody
broken
or
rice
Dan,
here.
I'm looking at my PM. I don't see it pop up yet. It's burning a hole in my pocket. Don't make me go out and spend your money. Don't make me go out and spend your money. You're gonna have to send me that
Send me your
Gmail
GCash.
Gcash account.
Oh yeah,
so I can send it to you.
Ann says rice is an interesting topic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. You know what? We ought to do it because the price of rice is going crazy, and as you pointed out, there's so many different kinds of rice. I think that would be a really, really good topic to do next time.
The
So we'll
World
do
Health
it.
Organization.
Ann says she will DM you now.
Okay, and thank you so much for your participation. I think that the panel and everybody in the chat, we really, really enjoyed you being here and your contributions. Everybody here, I want to thank you for your time because time is the most valuable thing that you can give. And
Yep.
I really, really appreciate everybody that has contributed to the live streams and the continued success of this channel.
Yes,
Well,
So-
time is the one thing you cannot replenish.
that's right.
That's for, hey,
Can
well,
replenish
it's about
anything
space,
else.
it's about time. What was that song?
It's about
It's an
space,
infinite
it's
thing that
about
you're always
time,
running
it's about
out of.
Time to slap you in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the Jetsons, wasn't it?
No, there was a TV show. It was about time. It's
Thank
about
you,
space.
Beth.
Yeah. But wasn't that the theme song for the Jetsons?
No, there was a
Uh,
theme song for the show was actually called "It's About Time." or
Emma
It's
Jean
About Space.
Coco. There was a theme song for, let's see, Emma Jean Coco, where it went something like, it's about time, it's about space. And as a kid, we used to add the last line, which it's about time to slap your
you in the
face. Yeah, do you remember that, Larry?
Oh yeah.
The theme song.
I
Who was in that show? It was about
I do not
cave
remember.
people.
Yeah, it was about
It
space
was
people who actually
Emma
went back
Jean
in time.
Coco was one that I remember. Emma Jean Coco.
But they
Oh,
went to
wait, we
space
cannot
and
end the
went back in
live
time.
stream until we know the answer.
Yeah.
We can't end the live stream until, oh, I just got your PM there, Ann. Let's see, what was it? Emma Jean Coco. Put her name in there. Emma Jean
It's about time.
Coco.
It's about space. Was when.
The theme song for the Jetsons was "Here's George Jetson."
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Daughter Judy, James his wife.
Don't forget
Son
Rosie.
Elroy.
That's right, his boy Elroy. Yep.
Yeah. Or his boy.
It's About
yeah.
Time, a TV series from 1966 through 67. Two astronauts traveling faster than light go back in time to prehistoric Earth. And able to return, they make friends with the natives.
Wow,
sounds
what a
like
show
Land
that
of the
was.
Lost.
They need to do a remake of that show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
They
we
need
go
to
over
do a
better
remake.
today.
I
But
think
All right,
so.
well,
was
you
an
know what?
oddball comedy.
I think that I got to tell you guys, I think this was one of the best live streams that we've had so far.
It was a very good one.
It was a very good one. So I
All right,
thank everybody once
here's the
again.
cast: Frank Atler, A. Letter,
Yeah.
Jack Maloney, Ingram Coco, Joe E. Ross, Cliff Norton, and Mike Mizuki.
Joey Ross, Car 54, where are you? Right? Is that right, Leonard?
Yes, I think so.
Car 54, where are you? And with Fred Gwynn? Wasn't that with Fred Gwynn also?
Yeah, Car 54 had Fred Gwynn in it. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Does anybody
Man, I'm telling
remember
you.
HR Puffin stuff?
Can do
Oh,
a
yeah,
little bit,
sure.
can't do enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the HR was supposed to be?
No.
Hemp related. It was talking about smoking marijuana. And it had what MASH star on there? David Ogden Stiers.
Oh, no
Charles
kidding.
Emerson
MASH.
Winchester.
Which one was he?
Charles Emerson Winchester from MASH.
Oh,
Yeah, he was the Bostonian,
yeah.
Harvard graduate.
Yeah, I didn't much
He,
care for
he
his
was
character.
gay in real life.
Was he?
That would make
Yes.
sense. I didn't much care for that character. I like most all the rest of them, but I didn't really much.
He was so snooty. That's why I liked it. He was so snooty.
In real life,
Boston Baked
someone
Bull.
took him out behind the latrine and ended up throwing him in it when they got done beating the crap out of him.
All right, guys. It's time to say goodbye.
Well,
They
if
said
you
there was
have to.
26 episodes on that show there, Dan.
Yeah, that's
Really?
one season.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
One
We're gonna
season,
have to
all at
spend
once.
one live stream
Yeah,
talking about them old shows. I'm gonna go look for it now. I'm gonna go look for Car 54. Where are you on YouTube? See if I can find it.
Yeah,
All right, you guys. Larry,
All
get
right,
us out of this live stream, my friend.
Ed,
all right,
nice seeing
everybody.
you.
We want to
Great seeing
thank
you,
my
Leonard. I'll
host,
talk to you
my
soon.
fellow co-hosts for coming and making this an enjoyable live stream. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Congratulate Ann for her win of the 100 pesos,
Yes.
and wish everybody luck on the next one. And remember, now we want to see y'all again, Dan's next live stream. So remember to take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, try to have fun.
Amen, Minnie.
Bye. Man, Minnie, take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you next
All right,
time.
now I'm going to drop out, people. So
Yeah, me
take
too.
care.